Welcome back, Lunacy fans. I am Kendo, and this is a Lunacy Recap Review. In this video, I'm going to be going over Lunacy episode 75, which aired March 19th, 2026. This episode featured Joe Dombrowski and Veda Scott on commentator. The ring announcer was Mark Roberts. Before we get started, I could ask if you could please go ahead and take a quick second to hit that thumbs up like button. I'll go ahead and wait for you. Thank you. That greatly helps get this video out to other people. Also, follow along during the video. If you can comment, let me know what your thoughts are on each segment and matches, whether you liked them, disliked them, what they could do better, what was great. I'd love to hear your opinions. Also, if you could share, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Without all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this thing. Alright, so opening up this week, we have Big Vito coming out with PCO and Mickey Knuckles. He is no longer in the trans. He keeps telling PCO and Mickey Knuckles they need to go into the corner. Basically just comes out, talks some shit to the crowd, typical standard Big Vito style. He tells the crowd that, you know, he is the top seller of JCW. He's the reason people come. Basically, he's the one who puts seats in asses. He says that Russo had a special guest for the evening, the special guest being Nick Nemeth. Good to see him back in the JCW ring. Nick Nemeth does mention the stuff from last week. Mickey Knuckles says that Vito needed some Viagra. It was kind of a cool spot. The whole crowd started chanting Blue Chew for Vito. Vito ends up getting pretty frustrated with that fairly quick. He says none of it's true. Right here you can see the crowd. They were chanting Blue Chew. Vito, PCO, they end up attacking Nick Nemeth. Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony come out to save him, and they pretty much just run off Vito and him. Alright, next we get a backstage interview segment with Facade being interviewed by Mac Davis. Mac Davis basically asking Facade what's been going on, why he's been taking shortcuts to win. Facade basically looks at him and tells him, look, I'm going to do what I need to do to win. The Juggalos still love me, they still cheer for me, and the man's got a point. And he's not cheating, he's just taking shortcuts. Keep that gold around his waist. I respect it. Alright, the next is another vignette from, I'm not sure if it's Father Brownson. I also seen Isaiah Brownson, I thought at one point. But anyway, he's back and he's preaching that red love again. Hopefully we get a debut from him soon. I look forward to seeing what he's got to offer. Okay, in the opening contest, it's going to be Suicide. And Suicide will be taking on the U.S. champ, Facade. This is a non-title match. Again, you can see the crowd clearly chanting for Facade. They're still behind the Neon Ninja's back. This was a decent match, I thought. A little bit slower than I would have thought for these two. They did have some cool spots, though. Nice little kick there, goes for the 3. Only gets a 2 count. Again, like I said, I had some cool little spots here, but I mean, Jeff the ref ends up, counting real quick, so he doesn't get that locked in very long. Nice little knee from the middle there. Again, goes for the 3, only gets a 2. Tries to lock him up, basically just wearing Facade down. Trying to keep him grounded. Once Facade hits those ropes, it's kind of a wrap. Yeah, so you let him get a little bit of offense, and he's going to take it the mile. That's why he is the U.S. champ. Whether you say he's been cheap or whatever, at the end of the day, he's winning matches, and he's still got the gold around his waist. That's what matters. Little jawbreaker here. Suicide leaps to the outside there. So like I said, it was all right. Jeff the ref is distracted here, and what's going on is Facade is turning the mask of Suicide, but now he can't see. He hits him with the pop props, I guess. 1, 2, 3, and still your champ is Facade. Congratulations, brother. All right, next is another backstage segment, and this is the start to something very interesting. I was actually at the next few tapings after this, so I know what it leads into. No spoilers, of course, but this segment here is Barnabas telling Jackson and Abel, hey, you guys need to go take care of cocaine for what happened last week. But God, boys, please stay out of that devil's dust. They basically are given the orders and they're going to go follow through. All right, we then cut to the champ and Vito backstage. Mr. Anderson cuts off the phone call. They basically talk shit back and forth. I'm anxious to see if they go anywhere with these two. I think that'd be a cool feud. But that gets cut off pretty quickly. Mickey Knuckles comes. Vito's like, hey, that Viagra shit was out of line. She ends up calming him down and convincing him to go back to the office with her. Who knows what they got planned. Okay, in the second match is a return match from last week. We have Sophia Rose again teaming up with J-Rod, and they will be taking on the team of Danny Moe. And like last week, she will be teaming up with the Big Al, Alice Crawley. Now, there is a special stipulation in this match. Basically, whoever gets the pinfall will now become the #1 contenders for the JCW women's title. So basically, whichever team wins, whoever in that team takes the pinfall will become the #1 contenders. This match was pretty good. Just like last week's match, I thought, these two teams are doing really well together. A lot of great action in and out of the ring. J-Rod definitely delivers a few chair shots. Sophia Rose got the little midget shovel, if you will. I'm not sure who would be using a shovel that small. This is the cool spot, and I think they've done this before, where they dump the Legos and they just get slammed. It's funny because J-Rod, I do believe, was the one who introduced the Legos to the match, and she ends up getting slammed in them and then misses here twice into the Legos. Well, I guess that's what you get for introducing them to the match. Again, she messes up here, going to hit Danny Moe with the chair, but ricochets, bounce it right off the ropes and knocks herself out. Drops Danny Moe right there on the chair, blasts her in the head with another chair shot. They had trash cans in each corner, as you can see there. Double miss. Nice little tandem kick there, if you will. Danny Moe throws J-Rod in the trash can, but J-Rod is so big she barely fits. And then I think this one's about to get wrapped up. Yep, Sophia Rose gets DVD'd right through the trash can. And Alice Crawley for the 1, 2, 3. Danny Moe holding back J-Rod, allowing her to become the #1 contender. Congratulations, Big Al. All right, after that match, we get a backstage segment with Vince Russo and Violent J. Violent J is coming in basically to apologize for accusing Russo. Russo pretty much shuts down the apology and says, look, man, all that shit was bullshit. He goes on to tell Violent J, you're going to want to hear the promo that I cut later tonight because it's going to affect you, it's going to affect me, it's going to affect the JCW in the future in general. So keep your eyes peeled because I got some major news to drop here later tonight. All right, then we get another backstage segment with Big Vito in a trance, just like last week. So who knows what happened with him and Mickey Knuckles in the office again this week. But a little bit easier this time. PCO does come in, and he's like, hey, bud, we got a match coming up for the titles. He snaps him out of it, and Vito wakes up. Okay, in the third match, we will have Mecha Wolf, the return of Mecha Wolf, and he will be taking on none other than Disco Ray, accompanied by the Ring Rat. Like always, Disco Ray tries to get his opponents to do a little dance with him. Mecha Wolf kinda does, but then he's kind of like, nah, fuck all that. Bam, hit him with the tambourine. Like that shit, get that shit the fuck out of here. Nice little suicide dive through the fucking wall there. Ridiculous. Whip to the outside. That chick, she went out on her ass hard, dude. You gotta pay attention. Especially if you're gonna be sitting ringside. But In this match, it was pretty decent. I feel like Mecha Wolf had most of the offense. A little tribute to Eddie Guerrero there. Dirty Dom would not be happy about that. But yeah, like I said, Mecha Wolf has most of the offense. Most fakest thing ever right here. He pulls the Stone, tries to pull Stone Cold. I noticed in this match, Disco Ray, a lot of his moves, just like this right here, goes for the old Dusty Rhodes. And like I said with the Three Amigos move, this one, Cody Rhodes would not be happy. But yeah, here's a Bronco Buster. He did the Stone Cold little tackle thing. He did the Dusty Elbow. Here, this is the swinging neck breaker. It's called the Disco Nexion. I'm pretty sure that's his finisher, but he only does get a 2. Little swing DDT from the middle rope there. Goes for the 3, only gets a 2. And this is where it gets a little sketchy, just like the past couple weeks. The Ring Rat trying to distract, but she hasn't been paying dividends. And then just like right here, you know, maybe Disco Ray might want to go get checked for pink eye. Who knows? Not my problem. But again, Ring Rat tried to distract, but ended up just kind of fucking over Disco Ray. But unlike the past few weeks, he does get to distract Mecha Wolf this time. Mecha Wolf hits her with the miss. Disco Ray takes advantage for the 1-2-3, and he picks up his first JCW victory. Ring Rat finally paying dividends. All right, next we get this backstage segment, and it is going to be the Outbreak finally catching up with Cocaine. They're going to put a hurting on him, and Barnabas is going to end up telling Cocaine, look, man, you could have came with me, and I could have taken you all the way to the top, right to that JCW title. He ends up taking Cocaine's party supplies, if you will, tosses it to the side. And again, like I was saying before, this is kind of the start of an interesting storyline because, as you can see, Jackson and Abel get into that devil dust, and it's not going to be good with Cocaine zombies running around. Okay, in the 4th match, it's going to be everybody's favorite auntie, Mickey Knuckles, and as we already know, she is going to be taking on Nick Nemeth back once again. This match is kind of short and is more of a comedical match than anything. Not really my cup of tea, but of course, not every match is going to be for everybody. Mickey Knuckles basically just tries to sexually harass Nick Nemeth, I guess you would say, the entire match. Kept trying to feel him up and get him to feel her up, and you know, just being that Mickey Knuckles character that she's been the past month or so, maybe even a little bit longer than that. This one doesn't last very long. Again, like I said, they do a few little spots here where she's basically just trying to get down with the show off, if you will. We're about to wrap up here. They lock up in a lip block here, if you will. Ref tries to count to 3. They end up rolling around back and forth a few times in the ring, all the while still locked up with the lips. Here it is right here, I think. Nick Nemeth is on top, 1, 2, 3, and that's how that one ends. After the match, Big Vito does come out, and he ends up telling Mickey Knuckles that her actions the past few weeks have been ridiculous. He says that she's been acting like one of these ridiculous juggalos, and she needs to take her ass to the back. And he pretty much kicks her back to the locker room, and surprisingly enough, she went. I did not think Mickey Knuckles would go out that way. Okay, in this episode's main event, we have Juggalo favorite Too Tough Tony, one half of the tag team champions, and the other half of the tag team champions, the Chocolate Juggalo Willie Mack. And the champs tonight are going to be taking on none other than PCO and Big Vito. I do believe this is a title shot. Kind of a slow match. It was decent nonetheless. It's just, you know, when you got a lot of big men in there, it's not going to be much fast-paced action. It's going to be more slow-paced powerhouse move, which I do like. You know, I like. That's the type of match I like, and the fast-paced matches, like I was talking about with that last match with Mickey Knuckles and Dolph. You know, it was funny, but it wasn't my cup of tea. Anyway, PCO with a big splash in the corner to Tony. They whip him. Double elbow taking Tony down. Vito with a big time clothesline. Can somebody please hook Vito up with some wrestling gear? Vito's supposed to be a rich mafia guy, and he's supposed to have all the money. I mean, at least I hear him talking about taking other people's credit card. At least use somebody else's shit to buy yourself some ring gear, bud. You're out there in some loafers, dress pants, and a button-up shirt with a tie. That is not ring gear, my friend. Come on, Vito. You're better than that. Tony goes for the 3. Vito ends up throwing Jeff the ref out. Jeff the ref then DQs them. You don't put your hands on the ref. Here's a nice one though. Jeff takes a nice hard hit from Vito. Oh. Okay, so ending the show in this episode is going to be Vince Russo, and he comes to basically cut a very long, drawn-out promo. Not really to say all that much. I mean, yes, it's a big announcement, but I feel like the promo could have been shorter. He basically comes out and says that they're going to have a match, and it's going to be Violent J. He's going to pick two teammates, and it's going to be Big Vito, and Big Vito will pick 2 teammates, and they will battle it out. The winner of this match, if Violent J wins and his team wins, Vince Russo will sell the 1% back to Violent J, making them 50-50 partners, how it was supposed to be in the beginning. If Big Vito wins, Violent J has to sell Big Vito his 49%, and Russo is going to sell Big Vito the extra 1%, making Big Vito and Vince Russo partners. Russo's basically doing this because he feels bad. You know, he wasn't trying to fuck Joe over in the first place, and things just kind of went out of hand, and he's trying to make up for it in the fairest way he knows possible. So I'm not sure if that match is going to happen next week. I don't remember if that's what they said or not, but it's basically going to be a 3-on-3 match, and the winner is going to control half of JCW in a nutshell. So I look forward to seeing that next week, and that's pretty much how the show ended. The fans did give Russo some shit, which was kind of cool, and he gave it right back. And again, this was just kind of a long, drawn-out process just to say what I went over in 30 seconds. So again, this is how the episode ended, and I look forward to seeing that match hopefully next week. Okay, if you've made it this far, let me go ahead and remind you, please hit that thumbs up like button. You know, it helps out so much. Subscribe if you have not already done so. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Each match, each segment. I'd love to know how you guys feel. I don't get enough comments. People are watching. Just want to know how you feel. My overall thoughts and opinion on this episode, it was pretty good. I would give it about 7.5, 8 out of 10. I did like that there wasn't an overwhelming amount of segments. You know, the matches and segments kind of balanced themselves out. There was a few little things I would have done different myself personally with the matches. That first match, again, I thought was a great match, and it had potential to be even better with Suicide and Facade. They're both very fast action, high flying. It just seemed kind of slow to me. Again, with the Mickey Knuckles and Nick Nemeth match, I know a lot of people thought that was a good match and it was funny, and that's great for them. But again, it was not for me. I'd love to see those two mix it up. Like, I think that they would have a pretty cool match. Other than that, man, I really, again, I enjoyed this episode. The Vince Russo promo was a bit long, but it got its point across, I guess. And Vince Russo on the mic is cool, man. I love how the Juggalos interact with him. They really give him shit. Maybe even more so than Vito, which is funny. But other than that, I am Kendo. Till next week. Peace and whoop whoop. Makes me happy. Dead bodies make